Hello, mighty companion. This is Earl Purdy. I'd like to welcome you to Facebook Live, Hardcore Course in Miracles. Hardcore Course in Miracles. And we're going to talk about grievances. Are you ready to let go of grievances? Are you tired of grievances? Do you feel like you have a grievance that's holding you back, that's keeping you from experiencing the kind of life you want to experience? Yeah, I know. And the Course in Miracles, of course, has its own definition of grievances that's even deeper than what we think grievances are. So I want to thank you and bless you for tuning into A Course in Miracles here on Facebook Live with Earl Raj Purdy. So take a breath. Take a breath. Are you ready to deal with your grievances? Are you ready to hear about a way of looking at grievances that's totally different from maybe anything you've ever heard before? Well, that's what I'm going to give you in the Course in Miracles. We're going to be talking about grievances and how to let those grievances go, to see it another way. Okay, so take a breath, take about 10 seconds to let yourself focus in on your intention and what you planned, and that you plan to listen and you plan to let yourself look at things another way. We're going to talk about grievances, and we're going to talk about how to let those grievances go, and even what a new definition of what grievances are. So we're going to be on lesson 68 in the Course in Miracles workbook on lesson 115, on page 115, page 115 in the blue book, the Foundation for Inner Peace version of the Course in Miracles. Love holds no grievances. Here we go. Now, the first thing we want to do is we want to make sure that we are learning this and hearing this the way that the Course in Miracles is telling us that we need to hear it. So in order to do that, do you know you have to have the right attitude if you really want to get past this grievance? So what is it that you need to remember? You need to remember that you need not believe the ideas. Let me get this up so that I can monitor what's going on. All right, here we go. I'm excited. I'm always excited to talk about the Course in Miracles because it's so friggin' deep. Okay. Because it's so deep. So here we go. It's so good to see each and every one of my mighty companions. You need not believe the ideas. You need not accept the ideas. You need not even welcome the ideas. Some of the ideas you may actively resist. Some of the ideas. Some of the ideas you will find hard to believe. Some of the ideas you will find hard to believe. Some of the ideas may seem to startle you. They may be, I'm going to talk some stuff that's really out there compared to what you've been taught, probably, by the world. You are not asked to judge and analyze the ideas at all. I am your divine repetition teacher. I am your remembering coach. I've been teaching and studying and learning A Course in Miracles for over 42 years. And I have been sharing the Course in Miracles full time as my way of expressing and serving in the world for over 35 years. So you listen to somebody who's familiar with A Course in Miracles and has been working with people with the Course in Miracles. So I'm telling you, if you want to make your journey through the Course in Miracles easier and faster and powerful, remember some of the ideas you will find hard to believe. Some of the ideas may startle you. It's their use that will give the ideas meaning to you. And do you realize it is their use that will give the ideas meaning to you? Did I say their use will give the ideas meaning to you? Exactly. It's their use that will give the ideas meaning to you and will show you that the ideas are true. So you ready? Here we go. Lesson 68, Love Holds No Grievances, in the Course in Miracles workbook on page 115. On page 115. Okay. Do you know that you were created by love? Love created you. No matter what you think about yourself, no matter what you think about another person, love created you. Like love. So if you want to know you are loved, if you are wondering why you may not know that you are total love, it's because you cannot know your true identity as love and hold grievances. You can not know your true identity as spirit, as love, as the unlimited child of the Creator. You cannot know yourself as that when you hold a grievance. Now, when you hold a grievance, do you know it's more than that, just a person being upset with another person because they did something that they didn't like? From a Course in Miracles perspective, to hold a grievance is to forget who you are. So if you are a loving person, if what your real true being is peaceful, and you're full of anger and conflict, then how could you possibly know who you are? If I tell you that what you really are is the most loving, kind, and possibly just a compassionate spiritual being, that's your true identity, how can you know that if you're full of anger, guilt, and grievances? So it's no way that you can remember that you are loved, loving, and lovable and hold a grievance. So every time a person is holding a grievance, what are they doing? Well, a person that's holding a grievance is a person who's forgetting that they are loved, lovable, and loving. Do you know, according to the Course, in the next sentence, it says to hold a grievance is to see yourself as a body. And so it's the Course in Miracles saying every time you see yourself as a body, you are holding a grievance. So if you see yourself as only a man, woman, or whatever your gender identification is, if that's what you think you are, then you are holding a grievance. To hold a grievance is to let your fear and sense of separation rule your mind. So if you are ruled by the idea that you are separate, if you're ruled by the idea that you are not connected and you're not joined to everything and everyone else, do you know the Course is saying you are holding a grievance, that's what a grievance is. You are holding a grievance if you're letting fear, anger, and guilt rule your mind. And when you let fear, anger, and guilt rule your mind, do you know that the Course in Miracles makes a very powerful statement? It says, now, if you let anger, guilt, and grievances rule your mind, you have condemned your body to death. What? Yes. But you might not fully realize just what holding grievances does to you and what holding grievances does to your mind. If people really knew what holding grievances does to them, then people would not hold a grievance. So that means that when you're holding a grievance, you've forgotten how loved, lovable, and loving you are. When you hold a grievance, you are seeing yourself as just a physical body. Are you seeing yourself as just a physical body? But if you're seeing yourself as just a physical body, you are not remembering that you are spirit, you are energy, you are vibration, you are consciousness, you are mind. If you're holding a grievance, you're letting what the world has taught you. You're letting that rule your mind. And if you're letting the idea that you are just a separate body that is born and then grows old and dies, then you are holding a grievance and you're condemning your body to die. Now, the Course says, perhaps you do not fully realize just what holding grievances does to your mind. So I'm going to tell you what forgetting who you are, seeing yourself as a body, letting fear and separation rule your mind, I'm going to let you know what happens when a person does that. When a person forgets that they are more than a body and they forget that they are a spiritual being, then whenever that happens, it splits you off from God. Have you ever wondered why you're not aware of God or why you're not aware of your source at the level that you'd like to be aware of your source? Well, the reason why you're not aware of love, why you're not aware of your source, is because you are holding grievances, which means you've forgotten who you are, and you believe you're a body, and you believe you're separate, and your ego is ruling your mind. So that makes you unlike your source. You see, your source is love. Your source is God. Your source is freedom. Your source is abundance. Your source is all that is. So why is it that a person doesn't know that they are connected to their source? Because the average person is holding a grievance. They have forgotten that they are more than a body. The average person believes that they are separate and that they have separate thoughts and that they have anger and guilt and grievances and conflict about something. The average person lets what the world has taught them rule their mind, which is the same as saying letting fearful, guilty thoughts and ideas rule your mind. When you do that, it makes you think that you are very different from what God is, which is love. It makes you think that God is like what you become. Because if I think that I am full of anger or guilt or grievances or separation, don't you know you're going to think at some level that your creator is also capable of anger and guilt and punishment and separation? Because you can't really think of your creator as being different from yourself. So if I think that I am full of fear and anger and guilt and separation, then I might be tempted to think that God is full of anger, guilt, grievances, and separation. So we see our creator the way we see ourselves. That's why many people have made God in man's image. In other words, they act like God is this dysfunctional personality who's angry and punishing and attacking. That's really describing God as a dysfunctional person. And so the Course says dysfunctional people believe in a dysfunctional God. People full of anger, guilt, and grievances believe that their creator is full of anger and guilt and grievances. So when you believe that you are not loved, loving, and lovable, then you are holding a grievance, and therefore you won't know who you really are. So now that you've forgotten that you are spirit, now that the person has forgotten that they're total love, the Course says what? Shut off from yourself, which remains aware of its likeness to its creator, yourself seems to sleep, while the part of you and the part of your mind that weaves these false ideas and illusions in its sleep appears to be awake. So what the heck did that just mean? Well, if I've forgotten who I really am, then what I think I am seems to be what I am. If I've forgotten that I'm love and spirit and eternal and all powerful, connected to my source, then I have to think that I'm limited and capable of having weakness and separation and fear. Can all this arise from holding grievances? Yeah, if you hold a grievance, if you forget who you really are, if you forget that you're eternally loved, loving, and lovable, if you forget that you are free, if you forget that you are never alone, if you forget that all that is in the universe loves you, then if you forget that, you don't really have any choice but to think you are alone, that you can be hurt, and that you are a body, and sometimes you can be happy and sometimes not, and that you can be the victim of the world you see. So a person that thinks that they are a victim, that's just a person who's forgotten that they are a creator of their experience. So when you're holding a grievance, so what, let's just, if you read in the Course in Miracles, it says, for he who holds grievances denies he was created by love. So if I'm holding a grievance, if I'm full of anger, if I'm full of fear, then I'm denying that I was created by love. So whoever holds a grievance, whoever is constantly believing that if everything and everyone outside of them had to be different, if they're different, then you're going to be happy, then you are a person that's holding a grievance. And if you're holding a grievance, then you are not knowing yourself as peace and love and joy. And if you're not knowing yourself as peace and love and joy, then you are seeing yourself as in conflict or grievances or pain. So in that case, when you deny that you were created by God, when you deny that you were created by love, then the Course says, then your creator has become fearful to you. in your dream of hate. Now, I know that this can seem difficult to understand, and you can wonder, well, how does this relate to what I'm going through with my mother right now? Just be patient, and I'll show you how it's all connected. Because how can you dream of hatred? How can a person focus on believing hate and fear and anger and grievances are real and not fear God? Because the mind is going to project onto its creator its characteristics. So if I can attack and I can be angry and I can hold grievances, then my mind is going to say that my creator can attack and my creator can get angry and my creator can hold grievances. So what happens? What if a person defines God in their own image? Like what I just said. I have fear, so God must have fear. I can have anger, so God must have anger. But then the Course in Miracles says, then you redefine love and you redefine God in your own image. So what is it that's going on all around us with people who are afraid and angry and upset? They have redefined creation. They have redefined reality. They have redefined God in their own image. I can't tell you how many people that I teach, counsel, and work with that when you teach the Course in Miracles, one of the weirdest things about teaching the Course in Miracles is that it's a spiritual teaching that's about helping you in your sense of separation and lack of communication with God so that you can finally have the kind of peace and happiness and abundance that is what God wills for you. But if you have grievances against God, then it's hard for something to help you that, first of all, you don't want to believe exists, or you believe that it's something that wants to punish you or hurt you. So it's not amazing to me anymore how many people study the Course in Miracles and don't want you to mention the word God, or they feel uncomfortable with the Christian terminology that the Course in Miracles uses. It's because they are still projecting their past learnings about God and spirituality. They're projecting it onto the Course in Miracles. So what does that mean? It means that people are defining God in the image of man. That people are seeing God almost like this giant Superman in the sky that's arbitrarily punishing people. And the Course in Miracles says, no, that is not what God is. That is not what love is. It's certain that you were created by a loving creator. So that means a loving creator created you like itself. So love, peace, joy, freedom, abundance, all that is created you, but it created you just like it. So you are love, peace, abundance, joy, and freedom. You are love, peace, joy, abundance, freedom, energy, vibration, consciousness, mind. That's what you are. You have the same characteristics as your creator. You have the same characteristics as your creator, and you are part of your creator. So you have been defined as a part of God. You are a part of love. You are an aspect of the divine. You are an aspect of the divine. What you really are is unconditionally loving. What you really are is invulnerable and powerful. I'm telling you what you really are, because if you have anger, guilt, grievances, think you are a body, have bought into everything that the world has taught you, then you are holding grievances according to the Course in Miracles, and you've forgotten who you are. So you have spiritual amnesia if you're full of anger, guilt, grievances, worry, depression, and upset. Then you have forgotten your true spiritual identity. So how can you tell when you're holding grievances? How can you tell when you're misperceiving? How can you tell when you got it all wrong? You suffer guilt. So if you're suffering guilt, does that mean if a person is suffering guilt that they are holding grievances? That if a person is suffering guilt, they've forgotten that they were created by love and that they are love? Yes. So how can you tell if you're holding grievances? You are feeling guilty about something, or you're feeling guilty about someone. It says it right here. It is as sure that those who hold grievances will suffer guilt as it is certain that those who forgive will find peace. So the opposite of guilt is what? What is the opposite of guilt? What is the opposite of guilt? The opposite of guilt is innocence. The opposite of guilt is forgiveness. So if you're still suffering guilt, so what that mean that if a person is still suffering guilt, then they're holding a grievance. Okay? So that also means that a person who's letting go of guilt, that means either seeing the guilt in themselves, projecting guilt on everyone around them. The person who is feeling guilty themselves or projecting guilt out on everyone around them, that's a person that's holding grievances, and that's a person who's condemned themselves to pain and suffering and death. But someone who is learning how to let go of their guilt, who is learning how to let go of their grievances, what's the truth about them? Well, they will find peace. What is peace? A Course in Miracles teaches that peace is total fulfillment. Total fulfillment. Total fulfillment is peace. Total fulfillment is peace. So what does that mean? To forgive means to let go of the idea of guilt. To forgive is to let go of the idea of projecting blame and responsibility for what you're going through right now onto someone else. So how can a person tell if they're full of guilt? They're suffering. And how can the person tell if they're beginning to let go of their guilt and to forgive? They are feeling more and more peaceful. It's also sure that if you hold a grievance, you're going to forget who you are. If you stay in your ego and fear and upset and projection, you're going to forget that you are loved, you are loved, and you are lovable. A person that's full of grievances, that identifies with just being a separate physical body, that's what they think their identity is. This is a person who will forget that they are spirit, that will forget that they are consciousness. And it is certain, what is certain? It's certain that those who forgive, which is the same as saying those who see things correctly, those who see things with peace, those who see things with love, these are the people who are going to remember their divine nature, their happiness, their health, their abundance, and their joy. Do not try to do your best to not make the Course in Miracles complicated, because it's not. It's not really complicated. It's as complicated as a person needs for it to be. And the Course in Miracles is as simple as a person needs for it to be. So wouldn't you be willing to relinquish all your grievances if you believed everything that I just said was true? Would you be willing to let go of your grievances if you knew that to hold a grievance, you would forget your divine nature? To hold a grievance would keep you believing that you're just a body that's going to die one day. To hold a grievance is to let fear and the teachings of the world that teaches you that you're separate and a victim, you let that rule your mind. And when you let those kind of thoughts rule your mind, it condemns your body to sickness and to death. Whew, that's deep. When you forget that you are only love and that your creator is only love, it'll make you seem like you're separate from your creator. And you'll forget how loved and loving and lovable you are. Whenever you hold grievances, you're denying that you were created by love. And then God is going to become fearful to you. And how can you believe in hatred and anger and separation and fear and not fear God, which is to fear love? So if you hold a grievance, does that mean you're going to redefine God to be just like the part of you that holds the grievance? Yes. But God created you just like God. Do you know that love created you just like love? So if you are feeling guilt, does that mean you're holding grievances? Yes. If you're beginning to feel more and more peace, does that mean you are being more and more forgiving? Yes. If you hold a grievance and believe that you are full of anger, guilt, grievances, and that you are a victim of everything instead of being a creator, you're going to forget your divine qualities. You're going to remember who you really are and your power and your glory when you forgive. And to forgive simply means when you're willing to see things another way, when you're willing to see things correctly. To forgive is to see things correctly. To forgive is not the traditional, from a Course in Miracles perspective, to forgive is not the traditional meaning of forgive, which means you're just trying to overlook what you think somebody did to you because you're trying to be more spiritual. To forgive means you're correctly recognizing that you are the creator of your experience, and through your own consciousness, thoughts, feelings, and beliefs, you're the one that's making all of the perceptions that you are experiencing and what you're going through. So would you be willing to let go of your grievances if you knew it was the cause of every problem you think you have? Perhaps you don't think you can let your grievances go. Perhaps you think this grievance is so great, this way of thinking that's full of the anger and the sadness and the upset that you have. Perhaps you think that you can't let your grievances go. But do you know that you're being able to do what the Course in Miracles is asking you? Do you know that you're being able to let go of grievances is a matter of motivation? How motivated are you to let your misperceptions and your pain and your fear and your upset and your grievances go? It's a matter of motivation. Whether you succeed in letting go of your grievances and letting go of your fear and anger and depression and upset, it's a matter of motivation. So how do you get motivated? How do you get motivated to let go of anger and guilt and grievances from the past? Well, here's the answer. This is how you get motivated. You try to find out how you would feel without your grievance. We're going to try to find out how you would feel without the lack, without the sickness, without the separation, without the anger. How would you feel without any cares, any worries, or any anxieties? How would it feel to be perfectly calm and perfectly peaceful and happy all the time? If you can feel how you would feel without the fear and anger and grievances, that's what will make you become motivated to feel good all the time. See, once you really feel good and you really feel love and you really feel happy, you will be motivated to never lose sight of that happiness and that joy and that peace. If you succeed at what we're doing just a little bit, you will never have a problem in motivation ever again. What is it that keeps a person from having a problem in motivation is when that person sees how good they feel without their anger and their fear and their grievances. So how do we get to this point that we're getting past of any of our sadness and depression and worry and anger and grievance and forgetting who we really are and thinking we're just separate bodies and then projecting on God like God is somehow something to be afraid of or just a man in the sky? That's not what God is. God is not a body. So how do you let go of these grievances? How do you let them go? I'm going to tell you how you let the grievances go. This is how you do it. The first thing you do, here you go, practical application. My focus in the Course in Miracles is going to be practical application of the ideas so you can see a change in your everyday life. I'll say it again. My purpose as a teacher is to help people with the practical application of the ideas of the Course in Miracles in their everyday life. So that this isn't just something that's being discussed and debated, but something that we're actually living. So the first thing that the Course in Miracles asks you to do, what is the first thing that the Course in Miracles asks you to do? The Course in Miracles asks you to search your mind. Who are you searching for? Search for those you have major grievances with. Okay? So the first thing I want you to do is think of somebody you're mad at, somebody you're upset with, somebody you wish were different, and if they were different, you'd be happy. You know exactly. That person probably has already come to your mind. Think about who you're upset with right now. Search your mind for somebody that you are upset with right now or that you wish were different in some way. And please don't say, You don't have anybody that you have any kind of grievances about in any kind of way. That's the same as saying every single person in your life is expressing themselves just the way that you want them to, in a way that gives you complete joy and happiness. But if there's anybody that you feel the slightest hint of irritation with, anybody that you feel any kind of upset with, that's who I want you to think about. And I want you to think of the seemingly minor grievances that you might be holding against someone you like, or even someone that you tell yourself that you love. Have you noticed that A Course in Miracles is basically asking us to do what we do all day? If you think about it, all day long, at some time or another, we're thinking about somebody that we wish were different in some way, or who would do something in a way that we enjoyed more, or we all have grievances in some form or fashion. So the Course in Miracles says, it's saying, I want you to think of that person that you're holding a grievance against. That, somebody you might even tell yourself you're in love with, or that you love, but you're still having some type of grievance, some type of upset with them. Now, one of the things that's interesting, the more you focus in on the solutions, the more you focus in on what we need to do in order to get past our blocks, that's when people tend to have the greatest resistance to the Course in Miracles. As long as people are just talking about the theoretical parts of the Course in Miracles and kind of just discussing the concepts and what it's saying, that tends to generate a lot of enthusiasm. But I've noticed sometimes that when the Course gives us specific instructions for how to get out of the pain, out of the sickness, out of the suffering, then our ego, the part of us that's been programmed by the world, or the part of us that doesn't really love us the way that it should, that part of us will not want to do the simple things that Jesus of the Course in Miracles is asking us to do. Like right now, what could be easier than thinking about somebody you're upset with about something, or thinking about somebody that you're holding a grievance with? And it could even be somebody you think you love, right? And it will quickly become apparent, if you really do this honestly, there's no one against whom you don't cherish grievances of some sort. Everybody could be a little bit different in some kind of way in order for me to be completely, totally happy. And of course, says that's what a grievance is. A grievance is saying, if you were different, if you spoke different, if you acted differently, spoke differently, if you did what I wanted you to do, the way that I want you to do it, then I would be happy. So usually grievances are just based on a person wanting people to be the way that they want them to be in some way, and they're not being that way. So just think of who that is. Think about that situation. But do you know that what makes us feel like we're alone in all the universe is our grievances, believing that we're somehow different from everything and everybody around us? Have you ever gotten angry? Have you ever been late? Have you ever forgotten something? Have you ever made a mistake? Right. Well, then that's all you see other people around you doing also. They're just like you. So believing that everybody needs to be different from how they are, and that they need to do everything that you want them to do the way that you want them to do it, do you know that that's how the Course in Miracles says the reason why a person thinks that they are alone is because they're cherishing grievances. And what does that mean? Well, to cherish a grievance means that you are wanting someone to be different from the way that they are in some kind of way. They've somehow or another not been the way that you think that they need to be. And also it means that you are looking at them as separate, and it's a possibility that you're looking at them as a body, and it's possible that you're looking at yourself as being a victim of them some kind of way. Well, this is what creates fear, sickness, and lack. This is what ultimately kills the body. That's what makes the body die. It's the anger, guilt, grievances, and projections that we have inside our mind that we have not let go of. So what should you do to get past this grievance? What should you do to get past how you're feeling about these people? What do you do to get past that grievance that you might be feeling toward that person? Well, the Course in Miracles is about to tell us exactly what to do. First, tell yourself, I am determined. What are you determined to do? You are determined to see these people as your friends. Right now, you might be seeing this person as your enemy. Right now, you could be seeing this person even as someone that you hate or dislike. Okay, that's okay. The first part of the exercise lesson was for you to search your mind and identify those people that you have grievances with, those that you don't like. That was part of the exercise. So your grievance itself is part of the exercise. What were we told that we needed to do if we wanted to get past the grievance? Say, whether you believe it or not, or whether or not you're totally sincere about it, say to yourself right now, I'm determined to see these people as friends. So in your mind, it didn't say get on the phone and call anybody. In your mind, say to these people, or pick one person, the one that you know that you're feeling the grievance with. Say to each person, I'm thinking of the different people in my life that I'm upset with or that I wish were different in some way in order for me to feel good about them. I'm being told to think about a particular person that I might wish would be different because I'm holding a grievance against them. Then tell yourself, I'm determined to see them as friends. So say to each one of those persons, thinking of each one of them, tell that person, you know, the one you don't like, the one that you're upset with, the one that you're holding the grievance toward. Do you have the person? See, this is hardcore Course in Miracles. This is for people who want to apply the ideas in order to get the result of the peace and joy and happiness and fun that the Course in Miracles is saying that is God's will for you. It will not happen through not applying the ideas, right? So think of the person that you're upset with. And if there's a lot of them, put them in line. And so you take the first person or the main person and you say this: I would see you as my friend. I would see you as my friend. The person that you see as your enemy, the person that you are upset with, that you might feel grievances toward. Say this. Say this right now. I would see you as my friend, that I may remember you are a part of me. Why do I want to see you as my friend? So that I may remember you are part of me. Why do I want to see you as my friend? So that I can remember you are part of me. That person is part of you. That person is part of you. That person is part of you. That person in their true nature that you have the grievance toward, that person is part of you. That Republican is part of you. That Democrat is part of you. That independent is part of you, who they really are. That black person is part of you. That Asian person is part of you. That white person is part of you. That foreign person, whoever that is that you have the grievance with, you say, I want to see you as my friend, that I may remember you are part of me. Your brother is part of you. Your sister is part of you. Your relatives are part of you. Your friends are part of you. The people you see on TV are part of you. The people that you're reading about in the paper, they are part of you. All over the world, everyone is a part of you. You're looking at different aspects of you. The only thing that you're looking at are different aspects of you. So say, I would see you as my friend, that I may remember you a part of me, and come to know myself. One sentence. You are being asked to repeat one sentence. I would see you as my friend, that I may remember that you are part of me and come to know myself. I would see you as my friend, that I may remember you are part of me and come to know myself. So I want you to spend the remainder of the practice period trying to think of yourself as completely at peace. Try to think of yourself as completely at peace. Try to think of yourself as what? Try to think of yourself as completely at peace with everyone and everything. Try to think of yourself as completely at peace with everyone and everything. Try to think of yourself as being safe in a world that protects you. You are safe in a world that protects you. Try to think of yourself as being safe in a world that protects you and loves you. What would it be like to be in a world that is safe? What would it be like to be in a world that protects you and loves you? What would it be like to be in a world that loves you in return? What would it be like to think of yourself as completely at peace with everyone and everything, safe in a world that protects you and loves you and that you love in return? Don't you know that everything that you experience is being made, created in your perception and drawn to you to match your own thinking, your own vibration, your own energy, your own thoughts? So I want you to, so what is it that the Course in Miracles is asking you to do? Try. The word there is try. Even though some people say, don't use the word try, the book says try. It's okay. It's cool. You can use the word try. Try to feel what? Try to feel safety surrounding you. Try to feel safety holding you up and surrounding you. Try to believe it. Just briefly try to believe that nothing can harm you in any way. Just for a second, just for a few minutes, say, nothing can harm me. There's nothing that can harm me in any way. Whether or not you believe that is not the issue. The issue is to do what you're told, to say the things to yourself that Jesus or the Course in Miracles and the Course in Miracles is telling you to say right now in order to get you past grievances that block your happiness. So tell yourself, nothing can harm me in any way. I might not believe it. I might feel like something could hurt me, but that doesn't matter, because if you already believe that you were invulnerable, you wouldn't have any need to do this lesson in the first place. So it's okay if it sounds like you're saying something that you don't necessarily believe yet, but try to believe that nothing can harm you in any way. Okay. Now, what do you do next? What did you do next? That's why I suggest, watching or listening to my videos on the Course in Miracles at least 4 times, because it's through repetition that you allow yourself to accept new ideas through repeating them. So what is it you need to repeat right now? Love holds no grievances. Love holds no grievances. When I let all my grievances go, I will know I am perfectly safe. When I let all my grievances go, I will know that I am perfectly safe. When I let my grievances go, I will know I am perfectly safe. Love holds no grievances. What is it you need to say? Love holds no grievances. When I let my grievances go, I will know I am perfectly safe. Love holds no grievances. When you let your grievances go, you will know you are perfectly safe. So does that mean that a person who doesn't know that they are safe is a person that still has grievances, that this is a person that still just thinks that they are a body? This is a person who thinks that they are a victim. This is a person who lets their ego rule their mind. This is a person who thinks love and God is something to be feared. Or a person that's holding grievances is a person that thinks that everybody needs to follow their script and be exactly the way that they want them to be in order for them to love them or to have peace. So when you're holding a grievance, that's what a person is doing. They're saying, if this person were different, then I will be happy, which is the same as saying your happiness is dependent on someone else's behavior and somebody else's actions. It has nothing to ultimately do with your joy, your peace, your happiness. So if you want to remember your unlimited power, if you want to remember who you really are, if you want to remember God, all you have to do is to start focusing on these ideas that I'm giving you from A Course in Miracles lesson number 68, which is for you to say, and you know you can do it. You can say it. You know you can do it. You only need to say, love holds no grievances. When I let all my grievances go, I will know I'm perfectly safe. So when you practice this and you practice the shorter practice periods of this, you want a quick application of this idea that love holds no grievances. So what should you do? What should you do? What should you say and do whenever any thought of grievance arises against anyone? Whenever you have a grievance against someone, whether they're physically present with you or not, when you have upset and anger with someone, whether that person is with you or not with you, whenever you have upset and anger with anyone, whether they are alive or what you call dead, which is out of the body, this is what you should do. This is what you should say. Love holds no grievances. Let me not betray myself. Do you mean that holding a grievance, seeing yourself as a victim, blaming everyone else for your happiness or unhappiness, wishing that someone else spoke or acted differently, that's holding a grievance? And every time you hold a grievance, it creates pain and suffering and lack and sickness for you. So holding grievances is self-betrayal. Being angry and upset, forgetting that you are a spiritual being, just thinking you are a body, that's self-betrayal. If you want to remember God, if you want to take God from just a theoretical level to an actual reality in your life, then you must remember what? You must remember that you have the characteristics of the divine, that you are love, that you are free, that you are powerful, that you are responsible for how you see things, that you are not weak. So when you are aware of the grievance that you have against someone, whether they're with you or not, this is what you do. This is what you do. This is what you say to yourself. What do you say to yourself? You say, love holds no grievances. Love holds no grievances. Love doesn't hold any grievances. If I love you, I'm not holding a grievance against you. If I'm feeling love, I'm not feeling a grievance. I'm not feeling anger, guilt, blame. So if I feel any of those things, I must be holding a grievance. So what is it that I need to remember? I need to remember that love holds no grievances. Let me not betray myself. So what is self-betrayal? Self-betrayal is holding grievances. What were we told about holding grievances? Well, at the very beginning of the lesson, it says to hold a grievance means to forget who you are. So when you forget your divine identity, you're betraying yourself. To hold a grievance is to see yourself as a body. So every time you see yourself as primarily a man or woman in a body, then you're betraying yourself because you're more than that. So what is another example of self-betrayal? Self-betrayal is to let the ego rule your mind. What does it mean to let the ego rule your mind? It means to let the idea that you are separate from God and love rule your mind. It means to share the idea that you are on your own by yourself, having to do everything on your own. To let the ego rule your mind means to let your grievances and upset and anger rule your mind. That is self-betrayal. And when you betray yourself and you forget that you are an unlimited spirit rather than a physical body that dies, that's actually what condemns the body to death. So what do you want to do? What do you want to do? You want to say, love holds no grievances. Let me not betray myself. Love holds no grievances. Let you not betray yourself. Repeat the idea. How often should you say this to yourself? Or anytime you think of the person or situation or circumstance that you're upset about and you have grievances about, you say, love holds no grievances. When I let my grievances go, I will know I am perfectly safe. Love holds no grievances. Let me not betray myself. These are very specific instructions about what you should say to yourself when you're upset with someone or holding a grievance. You repeat it. You repeat it several times an hour. Repeat what? Love holds no grievances. Let me not betray myself. Love holds no grievances. I would wake to myself. Love holds no grievances. I would wake to myself. How do you wake to yourself? You wake to yourself by laying all grievances aside and awakening in yourself. So I'll say it again. Love holds no grievances. I would wake to my divine self. How do you awake to your unlimited greater self? By laying all grievances, which is all your misperceptions of being a body, all your seeing yourself as a victim, forgetting that God is love and with you and not something that's punishing and non-existent. That's laying your grievances aside and awakening in your divine self. This is the answer to getting rid of grievances that cause all pain and suffering. You just heard it. You just heard it. And it might be very different from what you may be thinking or believing. So I'm going to do a quick recap. In just a moment, we're going to focus on the prayer that we're supposed to be using to get rid of grievances. I'm Earl Purdy. If you'd like to make a donation, I would appreciate it. Go to my website, earlpurdy.com. That's Purdy, P-U-R-D-Y. You can also use Venmo, the Cash App, PayPal, or Zelle. All you need is my email address, earlpurdy@earlpurdy.com. earlpurdy@earlpurdy.com. I'm available for coaching, mentoring, and showing you how to apply this to the Course in Miracles teachings and New Thought teachings to every situation and circumstance that you're going through right now that's causing you unhappiness. Then I'm here. I'm here to work with you on a one-on-one and to bring my 40 plus years of working with people into your personal situation. For those who are open and receptive to receiving messages from Spirit and guidance another way, I'm also an astrologer and a numerologist, and you can also allow me to serve you in that capacity also. I call what I do clarity sessions. If you go to my website, look under the clarity session tab, then you will get all the details about my services, and you can self-book. You can self-book an appointment with me right from online on my website. Thursdays at 7 p.m. Mountain Time on Facebook Live on the Earl Purdy page. We do hardcore Course in Miracles. That's what you're watching right now. And on Sundays at 1 p.m. Mountain Time, I do another Facebook Live on the Course in Miracles. And also, if you're in the Denver, Colorado area, then you can attend in person as well as watch online. 1555 Race Street. 1555 Race Street in Denver, Colorado, if you want to join in person. The Thursday night Course in Miracles presentation that I do is strictly online. Okay. I have hundreds and hundreds of classes on YouTube, on Facebook, and on my website that you can watch and listen to. And I have all 365 workbook lessons on YouTube. I'm only here to be truly helpful. I'm here to represent God, love, spirit that sent me. I don't have to worry about what to say. I don't have to worry about what to do, because God, spirit, love that sent me will direct me. And I will be healed as I let God teach me to heal. That's the healer's prayer. And that's what I'm here for. So let's focus in on the answer. Here we go again. I want you to think of anybody right now that you are holding any kind of grievance against, when you feel any kind of anger or grievances toward anyone. What I want you to do is to be determined Be determined to see these people as friends one day. That doesn't mean you're going to hang out with them necessarily and take them out to lunch. It just means I want to let go of seeing this person or these people that I have grievances with. I want to stop seeing them as my enemy. I want to stop seeing them as somebody who's harmful to me and who's going to hurt me. But what do you need to be? You need to be determined. So what should you do? This is how you would get past the grievance. Say to any person that comes up during the day, or anyone that you have a grievance against, say to them, I would see you as my friend, that I may remember you are part of me, and come to know myself. You want to think, as soon as somebody that you're upset with or anyone that you have any kind of grievance or upset with comes to your mind, what should you say? I would see you as my friend, that I may remember you are part of me. You are part of me. You are part of me. You are part of me, and come to know myself. Love holds no grievances. When I let my grievances go, I will know I am perfectly safe. Say to yourself, whenever you feel a grievance, what should you say? Love holds no grievances. When I let all my grievances go, that's when I'll know that I'm perfectly safe. If I want to know that I'm perfectly safe in this world, I've got to let my grievances go. So when I let my misperceptions about who I am and who that person is go, then I will know that I'm completely safe. When you let all your grievances go, you will know you are perfectly safe. Love holds no grievances. When you let your grievances go, how do I let my grievances go? You let your grievances go by saying the things that I've been sharing with you from lesson 68. Love holds no grievances. Say what the Course is telling you to say. Say, love holds no grievances. When I let all my grievances go, I will know I am perfectly safe. And whenever you have any thoughts of grievances toward anyone, whether that person is physically present with you or not, say, oh my God, I just thought about my father and I got these grievances against my father that I need to let go. Love holds no grievances. Let me not betray myself. Don't let me betray myself. Don't let me betray myself. Love holds no grievances. Love doesn't hold any grievances. Let me not betray myself. I'm thinking about this person that I have a grievance toward. I'm thinking about this person, these people that I'm upset with, that I have a grievance toward. What should I do? What should I do? You should say, love holds no grievances. Let me not betray myself. What should you be repeating several times an hour if you want to let go of pain and suffering and guilt and grievances and unhappiness? What should you say? You should say, love holds no grievances. I would wake to myself by laying my grievances aside and wakening in love, wakening in Him, wakening in God. Whenever you think about anyone that you don't like, anyone that you're upset with, anyone you're holding a grievance toward, say to yourself, love holds no grievances. Love does not hold any grievances. Love holds no grievances. Let me not betray myself. Let me not betray myself. Let me not betray myself. Love holds no grievances. Let me not betray myself. Love holds no grievances. Let you not betray yourself. Love holds no grievances. You would wake to your greater self, your real self. How do you awake to your real self, your greater self, your happy self, your loving self? By laying all your grievances aside. How do you lay your grievances aside? You lay your grievances aside by searching your mind for people that you have grievances against and saying and being determined to see them differently, being determined to see them as a friend. And then you say, I would see you as my friend. I would see you as my friend. I would see you as my friend, that I may remember you are part of me and come to know myself. I would see you as my friend, that I may remember you a part of me and come to know myself. I would see you as my friend. I know I'm upset with you. I know I have this grievance. I know I have this grievance. I know I'm mad at you. I know I have some unforgiveness towards you right now, but I want to see you as my friend. I want to no longer see you as my enemy. I want to see you as my friend, that I may remember you are part of me. You are part of me, so that I can come to know myself. Love holds no grievances. When I let all my grievances go, I will know I'm perfectly safe. When you let all your grievances go, you will know you are perfectly safe. Love holds no grievances. Let you not betray yourself. Love holds no grievances. You would wake to your divine self by laying all grievances aside and awakening in love, in God, in yourself. Mighty companion, this is the answer. This will move you toward the abundance you want, the peace you want, the joy you want. I know it's different. I know it's different from probably what you may have thought you would do to let a grievance go. But that's why I believe it works, because it is different from what we normally hear in the world. You are a blessing to me. This is called Hardcore Course in Miracles for a reason. This presentation is aimed toward those who want to see how they would feel without fear, without guilt, without sickness, without lack. How would it feel to have no cares, no worries, no anxieties, and to be in total fulfillment all the time? But this is how you do it. This is how it starts. So, mighty companions, until the next time, I love you so much. I appreciate you so much. And I'd like to say to you, may the course be with you. And listen and watch this at least 4 times. Share the video, share the video, share the video. Thank you. God bless you. I love you.